This is Bruce Hamilton, and when I'm not educating my opponents with lessons in pain, I'm right here listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me.
What's going on out there? Welcome. Come on in, Marks Mafia. It's time to sit down. Let's talk Wrestlemania, episode number 157 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Today, it's Wrestlemania, the aftermath. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now and everybody listening on all this podcast platforms out there. Thank you so much for checking us out. And Sportswire Radio, thank you all our friends out there. Full squad today, everybody in-house, but let me bring them to you. The host from the East Coast with the most, Primo from the pod. You know him. What's going on, brother?
What up, everybody? What up, Marks Mafia? Hope you guys like that because we do. Welcome in to episode 157 on this beautiful Thursday night. Hey, guys, if you didn't know, we recently dropped a brand new Discord that we want you guys to join in on. So go down in the chat right now, click that link, join us. We'll talk shit to you there too. So go ahead and join.
And one of the OGs all the way from Bliskettville tapping in today. Welcome back, the OG. AJ, what's going on, brother?
Hello. I remember to turn my mic on this time. Normally I talk for like 8 seconds before my mic is even on. So, progress. Hello.
Yeah, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks. Love being
and
back.
The most traveled independent wrestling fan in the Midwest. You know him by the green hat guy. We know him as Dylan. What's happening, dude?
What's good, boys? We're both thriving and vibing over here. We're getting over that post-Mania hangover. It's been a lot of wrestling, but hey, we're fired up. We got a lot to talk
that you're doing both of those things.
Both.
Yeah.
Thriving and vibing. And kind of, sort of surviving, kind of.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And, we're fresh off of our, 3-day Christmas, basically, of WrestleMania 2 nights and Raw after Mania. There's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of talk going on about everything that happened, and we're about to give you ours. But first of all, Primo, we got to get to the hot start, man. 5 topics in the world of professional wrestling. Let's kick this thing off, man.
Just kidding. That was me.
All right. Topic number 1. Let's start with you, Dylan. I'm going to just go out and say this, man. So a couple weeks ago, I think it was on Dynamite. I believe it was one of the Owen Hart tournaments. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, I think, personally, has the match of the year so far. That was probably one of the best masterpieces I've seen put together. Man, that had everything. It brought us up. It brought us down. They killed it. You know what I mean? Ospreay obviously won because, he's on his way to win the AEW title. But I know you checked out this match, man, and I just want to get your opinion on it. Like, how awesome was it? Like, I'm still like, I've probably watched it back at least 3 times now.
Oh gosh, just absolutely incredible. On free TV too. We usually see those matches on pay-per-view, but that's right there on Dynamite. That's why I love the tournaments, because you always get the really cool matches, whether it's the Owen or the Continental Classic, I think is what they call it.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, sounds right. We'll go with it.
Sure.
But Osprey and Takeshita, like just two of the best in the world. Easy matchmaking, put them together. That's what AEW needs to do is just put their best people together and let them go out and put on a banger on free TV. Just great
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely sick, man. Awesome match. All right, topic number 2, Primo. Let's go to you for this one, man. I know you were kind of tuned into this story, brother. Natalia was in Bloodsport, man, and she held her own, looked very well. Wanted to get your opinion on her just being in Bloodsport. I mean, for probably anybody in WWE that probably belongs in there, next to Shayna, it's probably Natty, man. But it's cool to see her, doing an indie show, on Mania weekend. So, what'd you think?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see anyone from the WWE in Bloodsport. It was cool when Shayna did it. It's pretty cool to see Natalia in there because her background and where she comes from, who she was trained by, so she's legit. And Bloodsport is a place where she can showcase that. And I'm glad that she was able to go out there and show out and hold her own. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. Any you guys catch any of this? I don't think I didn't see. I saw clips. I don't think I seen from beginning to end. But what'd you guys think?
I loved it. She Natty came across as just a complete badass. Not completely different, but not too similar to how she's presented on WWE. She had like a fight camp with her. I thought her and Miyu had the fight of the night at Bloodsport, and it was a really good show. But that was one of my favorite matches, fights, whatever you want to call it, over the whole Mania weekend. I thought it was great.
All right, AJ, let's go to
kind of like
topic.
a hybrid, like a match fight.
Yeah. It's like no ropes. Everything's technical. You got to win by knockout or submission.
Like Raw Underground, except better.
Better. Yeah.
Wait, so is it like actually like? Do they fight? Like I've always been confused about this.
I think it's work shoot.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they scrap it up as hard as each other wants to let him.
Like they throw
and then not too
potatoes,
long
but-
ago they had after Baron Corbin got released, he was on there when he went against Josh Barnett, but or I think it was just I think he went against somebody. It might have been Josh Barnett, but anyway, but in Baron Corbin, he's legit jiu-jitsu, so
right.
He's got like I think he's blue belt at least.
Bishop Dyer, ain't that his name now? I think. Does that sound right, Dylan? Dylan's
something. He looks like right now, that face that he's got right there, that looks like he's agreeing.
He's thinking about it.
He is agreeing with us. Yeah.
He'll come up with it. Don't worry. Just give him time. He'll be fine.
All right. Topic number 3, AJ.
Yes.
WWE has acquired AAA out of Mexico in a huge deal. First show in LA is going to be on June the 7th with NXT called Worlds Collide, which is going to be the same night as Money in the Bank. Yeah. What do you think about them acquiring AAA and also firing Alberto Del Rio was one of their first moves?
Thank God. Because we talked about it when they first acquired it, and they hadn't obviously fired Alberto Del Rio yet. And I was like, how is this going to work? First of all, Alberto Del Rio can go get fucked in any single way that one can get fucked. Yep. You are a horrible human. He's never going to hear this, but you are a horrible human, and you go get fucked. He should not be a part of any promotion. And then WWE acquires AAA, and I was like, okay, he's got to get fired. Thank God he did. Now I'm super excited. It's going to be so cool. I think it's going to be a good fit, a good match. I think both companies will benefit greatly from it, and I look forward to seeing what they do with it.
Yeah. Worlds Collide already announced. That is going to be sweet. I can only imagine that obviously they're going to have Penta and Phoenix go up against some of their probably old rivals. They're going to have Ray, probably be back by then. How cool was it? They already had Vikingo in the ring over the weekend.
Yep. God, I love that for him.
And I was thinking how cool that's got to be for you, DB, considering you met the dude. This past year?
I've talked to him a few times. We always talk at least for a few minutes, but it's like one of those occasions where I know if I'm going to talk to him, and same with him. We talk through Google Translate. you know, and so, you know, and I mean, his English is good, and we have, you know what I mean, but once we start like deep diving talking about wrestling or whatever, you know, I mean, but man, he's always so nice. He was always so appreciative, loved coming to LaSalle for Dreamwave. Yeah, and seeing him on WrestleMania, man, I was like, that is the coolest, man. I was
that is super
so
neat.
happy for him, dude. The world's gonna find out about him, and it's gonna be great, man. Yeah, outside of us, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Now I will say this too. I'm a little more interested now in NXT. You know, Lord, adding more wrestling in my plate because I'm trying to start getting into TNA too, right? You know, like how can I not watch with Mance there? You know, I started telling that to myself, right? Mance Warner, and he's killing it already. You know, and but yeah, so this is going to get me interested in watching NXT more now. If they, you know, meld them, you know, kind of like in there with, you know, with NXT and, you know, some like into the main roster too. But Money in the Bank then announced that night for Los Angeles. So yeah. So I won't be making that one. I was really so that's like on my bucket list next for wrestling pay-per-views. I want to do Money in the Bank.
That would be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So we did Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series.
That's actually on mine before Mania is.
Real quick. I actually saw this the other day. It wasn't me that was Google searching it. It was it was Con Dog, aka Conzilla. We got him there at work, my colleague. He's one of our biggest fans. Anyway, he was Google searching. He asked me specifically about like SummerSlam and like the bigger pay-per-views. So I said, go ahead, Google the big four. He Googled the big four, and Google AI spit back out the big five.
Oh.
And the fifth was Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, yeah.
I was like, wait, when did that happen?
Right.
But I mean, couldn't we have just voted off Survivor Series?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, so Survivor Series is War Games now too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I want to watch Money in the Bank more than War Games, no matter how you mix that all up, because there's more stipulations on it. You know, it's usually team versus team in War Games. You know,
and War Games is pretty much the itinerary basically.
Yeah, it's faction beef. It's faction beef. But you know, so so that's why. I agree, and I think Survivor Series should go the fifth. You know, now.
Yeah, for me, it's always been Rumble and Mania up at the top.
Outside of those, what's like the other one you kind of look forward to? Maybe Elimination Chamber?
You're talking about like as far as what you would call like the sub pay-per-views?
Yeah, Backlash. What else is kind of gimmicky?
Great Balls of Fire.
That's definitely. It's very rare that I actually look forward to Backlash because that's like just rehashing WrestleMania
Mania
stuff.
fallouts.
But
I
think
like TLC. What about TLC? You know,
TLC. Yes, I was gonna say TLC. Back when they used to have Extreme Rules. And even now, I kind of liked the Clash at the Castle that they had.
I did too.
And now I'm kind of looking forward to the Clash at Lyon, France.
Mm-hmm.
That they have coming up.
Yeah.
I think we're all forgetting
that the Europeans can give Americans another fucking chance to steal.
Oh, God. All right, boys. Topic number 4. It's finally Happy Rusev Day.
Rusev Day.
Man, how pumped were y'all when he came out, man? It was kind of a weird spot he came out, but I don't give a fuck. Like, he's back. Like, give me
it was so weird where he came out. But it's like, I don't care. Like, it's whatever. And how long do you think they're going to bring back Rusev Day? Like, are the fans going to allow him to not bring it?
Well, no, I hope that's what we chant to him.
Yeah, for sure.
It got over,
man. That's what that's what the fans might force. But I think based off of, because I saw the backstage interview right after that, I think that remember when he did the Redeemer thing where he said, I'm going to collect or beat everybody and collect everything. That's kind of the same promo he cut. So I was like, oh, I'm getting Redeemer vibes.
I don't care. Rusev's back.
Yeah. But he looked beastly. He looked awesome.
He looked great.
He looks phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm so pumped.
He looks like Braun Breaker, to be honest. Like they look very similar.
Yeah, immediately. I text you guys. I said immediately, give me Rusev and Jacob Fatu.
100%.
Yeah. Hoss fight.
Yeah. It was kind of a weird spot, but I wasn't really looking forward to a New Day Tozawa and Otis match.
Right.
So like
Save
that
the
helped that
segment.
too. It was like, okay,
Man,
Rusev
right.
back. Let's go.
my brother
Uh,
is always like, poor Tozawa. He's like, give Tozawa
Yeah.
something.
Whatever. Tozawa's my boy. I love Tozawa. I really do.
I'm gonna tell you too. Speaking of Survivor Series, it's outdoors this year. Survivor Series is going to be in San Diego, where I mean it's always 85 degrees. Like late
Yeah.
November, so that's going to be a little
Yeah.
wild. I think it's going to be at the
baseball
where the
stadium.
Padres play.
Yeah.
Petco Park. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So it's not going to be in like Minnesota or something like that.
right.
Do
Yeah,
if you're going to do an outdoor
outdoors.
show in November, do an outdoor show.
That's smart.
In November.
That's smart.
Go to South Dakota.
All right, question number 5, boys. Hot topic number 5. Before we go home, man, I just have a question for you. I just want to see if you guys can answer it for me. Where's the Wyatt 6? And did this fail? Did this fail? Is this over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it failed, and I don't know.
It failed, and I don't care.
It's pretty hard to say it
also-
didn't fail.
Right. Right.
Dude, they were even teasing stuff with Alexa, and now she's nowhere to be seen.
I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about that.
That's
I'm
what I
so
was going to
upset
say.
about
Yeah.
'Cause that's where we should.
Yeah.
Where we stopped off, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were at the Rumble that pop Alexa got when she came back.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Insane.
She wasn't on the Mania card.
Yeah,
I mean,
not on the Mania card.
I think
not doing
that
anything.
it's not, not for lack of her trying. I think I don't know what the deal is, but
I just don't think they know what to do with her.
Wyatt 6 though, I mean, we talked about this, DB, way back when it first. I said I don't know if anyway, we'll come to terms and say, hey, this isn't working.
This
But
just
I
ain't
guess,
working.
This is bad.
Yeah.
It looks like
bad.
maybe the talk has been had.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
because they just kind of
So-
faded off into the. I mean, maybe they'll surprise us and come back next week or after Backlash or before
Yeah.
SummerSlam, but it's been months since we've
I
seen
think
it.
Yeah.
I think Trips pulled old Uncle Howdy and he's like, listen, Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, he put his
You
hand on
know,
his shoulder,
uh,
didn't he? Put
What's
his
it
hand on his
called?
shoulder.
AOP was still in the company last time we saw him because
Oh,
they
wow,
were
yeah.
beefing
That's
with
who they were feuding with. Yeah,
Final Testament.
yeah. They did. I believe. I could be wrong. I believe they did get like transferred to SmackDown when they were doing the whole transfer portal thing.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe the SmackDown after Mania they have a big reset, but I'm not holding my breath on that.
Sure.
AJ, maybe you can. Since AOP's gone, maybe they'll release another poetry book for you.
Oh my God!
Yes.
If they do, then good.
Yes.
We got fired.
Where's Ilya Dragovich or Dragunov?
He's coming back from injury.
Injured.
Okay.
Hopefully,
All right,
also
cool.
writing poetry.
Cool.
Dragunov.
Drag-
One of them I was
Dragonovich.
going to ask you about today, but maybe come to me later. So, all right, boys, that's going to do it for the hot start today. It's time to get to the dropkick discussion of the week. But first, how about a word from our buddy Stephen Flo?
Stephen Flo.
Oh, is that you again, Primo?
Yes, me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stephen Flo of the Super Wrestlers, and you are now listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right. Night number 1, WrestleMania, Las Vegas. 61,467 people, they said. I think they got, allegedly a couple more thousand people in the next night. But before we get started, first of all, I want to say that I heard the best Jelly Roll song I've ever heard in my life. It was God Bless America. I thought he did it awesome. I'll be honest. I thought he did it awesome. As long
He
as
didn't
you
even
don't
choke
fuck up
slam
into
anybody.
his- Yeah. See, like yeah.
DB,
was
I never,
perfect
wanna,
with
I
that.
never want to hear you compliment Jelly Roll again. This is
The
weirding me
dude.
out. I don't like it.
As
I've
soon as
always
I
been
saw
clear.
Jelly Roll, I was like, the first person I thought about was DB.
Yeah, I was like,
I've
oh,
always
he's
been
every
clear.
time.
It's his
Every
music I
time.
don't like. Yeah, it's music I don't like. But
Oh, come on your wrestling, and I'm gonna choke slam your guys.
all right, so right off the bat, man, I have to say, and maybe they just do this for Mania, for bigger pay-per-views, whatever. I'm not a fan of the logos on the mat. I don't need to see Dude Wipes, Cricket, Clash of the Clans, whatever the shit that
I
game
do
is.
like dude wipes though.
Like on that. Don't
for the
admit that,
loophole.
dude. That's supposed to be like private. You're supposed to wipe yourself in private.
Hey man, if
talk
you don't
about it.
have a clean area, then that's on you. But
Hey, they're not sponsored.
My area is clean. It's called a shower.
You're right. No,
No
I
free
agree.
sponsors.
To a point. I mean, I see from a business sense.
Sure.
Obviously,
They don't need that money. They don't need that money.
it's not that they don't need it. There's, I mean,
They want
money rules the world, and they'll never. They're greed takes over what they want. So, I think
course.
that It's just, to me, it looks like a boxing ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Yeah.
one way of thinking about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. I love the black mat. I gotta say that. I do like the black mat.
I like the black mat too. I don't like the prime all over. Like if it was just like, Boost Mobile and fucking Church's Chicken or whatever. Neither of those are sponsors.
I
but
like
whatever.
the cart of Prime because somebody always smashes into it.
Yeah, but that just gives stupid Prime.
Yeah.
And then
promotion. I hate it.
no, what I really don't like, even more than the mat, because I can get over the mat. What I really don't like is this match is brought to you by Clash of Clans, or this match is brought to you by Slim Jim.
Right.
Like, and now with I see this big ass yellow banner across every LED board that
Yeah.
says Slim Jim or Clash of Clans, and I can't focus on the match.
Yeah.
Too excited about Slim Jims. They make Dr. Pepper ones now. Just gonna throw that out there.
All right, match number 1, boys. Gunther versus Jay for the World Heavyweight title. They put up a stat that Gunther had been a champ for 259 days. This was probably the biggest Yeet entrance maybe I've ever seen. Like, he was extra juiced, and that's when I'm like, yeah, he's winning, But pretty good match. Obviously Jay won the title, but he won by rear naked choke. Gunther tapped out
Like immediately.
Right. Like, yeah, he didn't wait too long. Let me hear you say yeet. Yeet. What you guys think about that one? Predictable?
Yes.
You got to start hot, right?
Predictable. He choked him out with his own move and made Gunther tap. I don't know if that's predictable.
No, I'm not talking about the finish. I'm talking about the win.
Yeah.
The win?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you guys say predictable. I heard all you guys say that Gunther was going to win and that babyfaces are going to lose.
I didn't say it. I thought Jay was winning the entire time.
I think we need to go back and maybe listen. I felt like Jay was going to win. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm kidding.
Jay.
We did.
Okay.
But the last podcast, we all did pick Jay.
Yeah.
So,
I thought so too. But
There's one and only thing that I liked about this match and the outcome, because I hated the match. I hated the finish. I hate the whole yeet thing. It's not for me. But
no, it's not for us. No.
The thing that I do absolutely love about it is that for once, WWE is striking when the iron is hot.
Yeah.
And it's fair. Like finally, because they've dropped the ball so many times. They dropped it on Rusev Day. They dropped it on Sami Zayn. They dropped it almost on Daniel Bryan. And they're finally like, okay, the fans, even though I don't understand it and I think it's fucking stupid, love it. And so good. Get it on him, even though Jey Uso sucks and he's terrible at everything. But again, that's beside the point. That's not
every kid that watches wrestling yeets.
Yes.
That's what they're looking at.
It is so over.
Yeah, it is so over.
I get it. Like you were saying, I don't really love it, but
sure,
being at the Rumbles, it really opened my eyes. Just seeing how many Yeet shirts were there, seeing everybody's reaction. That was like, well, okay, it's not for me, but I get it. I can't hate him for it. I like the finish. I really did like the finish. The 3 splashes and then the rear naked choke. It's like I did not see that coming at all.
They let Gunther tap is all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
and so quickly.
That's way to make Jay look on top, like go out big on top. So
yeah, it wasn't a fluke like roll up or nothing like that.
Right.
It was he beat him. So.
Yeah. All right.
I'm happy that Gunther lost.
I know you are.
I mean, I am too. Like his race.
Thank
you're
you.
Gonna hate it when he wins the world title too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or the undisputed title. You're gonna hate that too. It's gonna happen.
Depends on if he carries it for more than 2 months.
He takes
and I'll
it
start
from
hating
Seth. If he takes it from Seth, you're gonna hate it so bad.
He's not taking that from Seth.
That's serious heat with Primo right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right, match number 2, boys. The War Raiders versus New Day. New Day, new champs here. They had little tribute outfits to Giant Gonzalez, which I thought was wild and out there, but we'll take it. How about Kofi's eyes after the win, though? How big?
Oh my God, he was like,
he was so.
I can't even do it.
The only thing I thought that maybe Big E would come in and screw him over or something. You know what I mean? But
I think those wishes are dwindling.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a PR man now.
I was hyped. I was literally just trolling on Reddit like 2 weeks ago before WrestleMania, saying that they're wasting New Day's talent. They're wasting the New Day heel turn. Blah blah blah. And I'm glad that they gave them the titles, making them a 12-time tag team champions. But I don't know. Like, I feel like all they're doing is coming out, talking smack, went in, and they won the titles. But like, I feel like there's just something they're not capitalizing on. I just don't know what it is. I feel like they're just not.
The New Day as a team or WWE creative on New Day?
Both.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
Like, I feel like no
something's
matter
not
what it
clicking.
is, Kofi and Xavier can pull it off. I just think, I don't know. I feel like they're not making them as nasty heelish as they could
they
be.
need to be more dastardly. Like, go attack somebody, hit somebody with a baseball bat in a parking lot or something. You know what I mean? Like,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'll do nicely.
Match number 3 on night 1, boys, was the revenge match of Jade versus Naomi here. Decent match, I thought. Jade got the revenge. What'd you guys think? I know some of you guys thought, or at least hoped, Naomi would go over here to kind of solidify the heel turn, but they went with Jade. What do you think?
No, I wasn't surprised by that either. Yeah, also.
Did somebody fart on that? Oh.
I was actually not happy that Naomi didn't win.
I wanted her to.
I figured Jade was gonna win, but
yeah,
I really wanted them for Naomi to go over because I like Naomi's new heel gimmick, and I just want that to be shot to the moon. Right. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah,
they did like a cool powerbomb spot to set up the finish.
Yeah.
That was about the only thing I liked, to be completely honest.
Sure.
But that spot was cool.
Yeah.
I like Jade's pin when she.
I like Jade. Yeah, I like her pin too. Yeah, it's original and it's kind of like sleazy, if you will. You know what I mean?
And
so
then
good word for it.
Sexy.
How'd she grow her hair out so fast? She had short hair at the match, and then the press conference, she had a long waist length hair. It was a miracle.
Extensions, man, they're a crazy thing. I don't even understand that world, but let's move on. All right, so LA Knight. Let's talk about this one.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued by AJ. So let's talk. Let me get through it first. So, LA Knight versus Fatu. I think we all got this one right. New champ here. I love this match. I thought it was a really good match. Fatu wins by I think it was a double moonsault, and apparently LA's balls fell out. AJ, tell us about it.
For fuck's sake, I've spent way too much
I didn't catch it.
Well, lucky you guys. Okay, first of all,
LA's balls fell out.
Dummy.
Yeah. Everything about this match was distracting. First of all, when LA Knight pulled up in that stupid car, it's like, okay, that's a cool entrance. And then his beard was so perfectly manicured. Okay. I don't know what the word for beard a cure is, because manicure is like hands. What is it when your beard is like perfectly trimmed and like dyed and anyways, doesn't matter.
Groomed?
It was distracting. I don't know. It was distracting. And then in one of the pen attempts, the balls. There's LA Knight's balls, and
With everybody saying
B-A-L-L-S.
A manscaped.
Oh,
God,
I think that's
balls.
your nuts, Chris. That's manscaped is your balls.
I was so I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated all of it. I've never been the biggest LA Knight fan to begin with. Certainly don't want to see his balls. Go Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I like this though. Get some gold on Fatu here. He's a star, man.
He is an absolute
guy. He's so good.
star.
Yeah.
Anybody says Jacob Fatu doesn't deserve a belt, you're crazy.
Oh, give him all the belts. He's so
I'm pretty sure Xavier Sky made his tights again for Mania. I think that's what I saw. So I think
that's so awesome.
Yeah, man, so cool, so cool.
Yeah, I hated that they took the belt off of Shinsuke just for Knight to drop it here, but like I get it, it makes sense. Wish Shinsuke would get a little more love, but
and then Shinsuke was in the Battle Royale on Friday.
Yeah, but Fatu's about to like get to even that next level. He's about to really take off.
Yeah, yep. All right, next up, boys. Cards subject to change sometimes. We had a little sidestep here on El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix. Well, it ended up being Ray Phoenix. Sounds like Mysterio must have gotten hurt or something. Must have been serious for them to pull him off of this show or something like that. But let me tell you what, man. I love a good mariachi band. Like it, I love them, man. And then when Chad came out, Americano came out with the
Whoa,
mariachi band.
Yeah.
Like I was so fired up, man. I love this, and yeah. As soon as it, man, I love it. I love it. I love Mexican food is my favorite food. I love being in that vibe, that restaurant. Like I want to hire a mariachi band. Just follow me around one day, just But this was cool, man. I love this. But all right, so what'd you guys think about this match, though? Because Ray, it was his second match, and it was WrestleMania. Like, holy cow!
So I've decided that what's the move called where he runs along the rope and kicks whoever in the face? What's that called?
The run down the rope, kick you in the face.
Yeah,
Adios, amigo.
Yes.
It's the coolest move ever. It is.
Yeah.
It is so good. Ray Phoenix is so good. I loved this match. I love Chad Gable. I love Ray. I love this match. This blew me away.
Gracias.
Yeah, Maracano got the win too.
Yeah, it was cool to see Phoenix in there, that quick, replacing
Yeah.
Ray. I was really hoping they might sub Chad Gable in to replace Rey Mysterio and have a Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano match. Since they're clearly not the same person.
Right, clearly.
What better way to prove it? That's a joke, obviously. But
Right,
I was, after our preview pod, I was hoping he would get unmasked, like you were talking about, DB. But given the audible, given the situation, I liked it. Keep it going. Yeah.
Even better now that with the AAA thing, because now it's like,
Oh my
perfect.
gosh,
it's gonna be so well.
endless
Obviously,
possibilities.
yeah, the disrespect.
Yeah. We gotta do an unmasking soon, probably. They'll push it. Well, at least I think they'll push it, maybe at least for a little while longer. We'll see. But man, I thought this was great. Yeah, and then with him getting the win over Ray, just keep it going. I'm like,
yeah. I want Chad Gable to get pushed so bad. He's every bit of Kurt Angle. Like, he's not quite as good in ring as Kurt Angle is, but he's close, and he is as funny as Kurt Angle is. So, please push him. He's so good. I love him so much.
Joe LaFave Jr. on Facebook just chimed in and said, another hot take. Americano is Hulk Hogan's 56th attempt at a compact improvise from his first attempt at the Mask American. Yeah. So we need Mr. America versus El Grande Americano. Mask versus mask. And then we'll finally find out.
Grande Americano would run circles around Mr. America.
God, yeah.
I'd be okay with that match.
All right. Match number 6, boys of the night, was Tiffany versus Charlotte. Tiffany retained here. Match good. About 25% of it, maybe 75% of it was a little clunky. They seemed off. They didn't really have a moonsault like I wanted them to, but
a moonsault.
but Tiffany won here. It seemed like there was some potatoes in there.
Tiffany didn't have any teeth at the end of the match.
Well, she had like a swollen jaw. She had a couple
forehead
lumps on her head. Yeah. So, so must have been some potatoes in there. So, what you guys think of this match, though? Like, I really do think they should go back to it at some point. I don't know whether they will or not, but like this match, they could do better. You know what I mean? Of course, it's definitely Tiffy time all the time now.
Yes, non-firing hand.
This match sucked. Charlotte looked stiff and wooden, and her gear looked like Lego gear. And the only thing that I liked and that surprised me was that Tiffany retained. Like that was it. Otherwise, I was like, I don't like this. This is making me sad.
Yeah, Charlotte got to have like a Rolls Royce, I think. So I thought that was pretty cool.
What was with all the car entrances too? Like, they're like, oh, we got to do something. Just throw her in a car and get her driver out there. Like, I don't.
Yeah, they had that big old ramp, I guess. So I guess they had the idea. So
I thought it was all right. I kind of like it sometimes when matches aren't just perfect, where it looks like it's super choreographed.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of clunky in there. I don't know if they did this intentionally. I would assume they have to, but they were dressed like almost exactly alike.
Yeah.
Which is very weird for a WrestleMania match to have them like matching almost. So I don't know
So
if that
I'm not
was supposed
changing.
to
You
be
change.
like
I'm not
the
changing. You change.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was like the whole story of like Tiffany being the next Charlotte. So like, oh, they're both blonde and they're both dressed the same way.
Sure.
If that's what they were going for, it wasn't really communicated very well. But
Right.
I mean, I thought it was all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah. I think they can do a lot better if, like I mean, of course, I don't know if there's real heat there. I mean, it kind of seems like it. It looks like I think I know when wrestling gets a little rough. You know what I mean? But it seems like next time if they can put that to the side a little bit, you know what I mean? It just felt like they were, like each trying to be the leader of the match. You know what I mean? And it just can't happen. So, but. All right, let's move on, man. Main event, my favorite match of the weekend, the triple threat, Paul Heyman on a pole match, whatever you want to call
That's right.
it.
Paul Heyman on a pole.
CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I love this, man. All of them had cool entrances. I love seeing Living Color coming back. There was a lot of stuff that happened during this match. I tried to take some notes during it. I love the spot where Roman teased joining Seth at that one point.
Yeah, where they can do shield bomb.
Do the shield
Yeah.
bomb. Yeah. I love that part. The sharpshooter on Punk from Seth was like
Love
a WrestleMania 13 throwback. It looked like to me. I love that part. So the crotch shot Punk gets from behind, right? From Heyman. I don't you know what else to say. So Heyman teases, right, that when we get to the end of the match, if you see Mania, so Heyman teases and goes and hits Punk instead, right? And then catches like Punk off guard from behind. Roman goes to hit Seth. Heyman, there's just so much. Heyman crotch shot Roman. And then Heyman's jumping in with Seth now. So we kind of seen like a little bit of this all coming a little bit. We just didn't know how. I think we all did. We just didn't know how it was all like going to unfold. I know I like explained it like a little wild there, but
no, I'm laughing at jingle to the dingle.
Jingle to the dingle.
But the chair shot on Roman from Seth was, obviously, a la to a throwback of the breakup of the Shield. And then the curb stomp to Seth to Roman, and Seth gets the pin and wins. And I'm shocked at how it all went down, but I'm also like, this is fantastic TV. You know what I mean?
Couldn't have been more pleased.
In, right? What's that?
I said I couldn't have been more pleased. I was so happy.
Same.
I loved every bit of that.
Same.
Right.
I loved every bit of this match. And first of all, these three are so far above the rest of the card that it is almost embarrassing. Like you could just tell, like these three are just on another level.
This was easily my favorite match of the weekend.
Same.
Yeah.
Also, you could tell that Punk was having just the time of his life out there. He's main eventing WrestleMania. Like he's just loving every second of it, which that really came across as well. And just the only bad part was like when Heyman went to give Roman the jingle to the dingle, he like went like this, and then he was like, it's like he was trying to give him the old rub and tug with his bicep.
Yeah.
It was weird. But apart from that, wonderful storytelling, wonderful booking.
Yeah. When Heyman gives Punk the chair to hit Roman, and then he crotch shots Punk, I'm like, here we go. I'm like, like I'm so glued. It's such good TV.
I love how Seth doesn't even turn around to get the chair from Heyman. He just holds his hand out.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Fucking
his hand out.
Yeah.
Just amazing. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Like Heyman was just incredible. I did not see it coming down like the way it did. I think we all picked Seth to win with Heyman with him, but the execution I did not see coming. And just the drama is he giving the chair to Punk or is he giving it to Roman?
Right.
And that back and forth.
I agree.
When he after he turns on Punk and Seth is feeding his back, Heyman's standing there going, Roman, the Shield. Now's your chance. The Shield. It's just like we just keep coming back to it, but every time we come back to it, it is just a 10 out of 10. Perfect.
Yeah.
Tribal chief. Look, it's all
last
yours.
Roman hit Seth with the chair instead of hitting Cody, and it cost him. And
Right.
here again, he's going to hit Seth with it and taking his attention. It cost him here again.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Loved what we saw on Monday, and we haven't got there yet. But it's everything coming out of that match. Just absolutely loved it.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. We leave with Roman's arch rival once again, takes somebody loyal from him. So Roman's still having loyalty issues. You know what I mean? Somebody else has turned their back on him, now. And man, is Roman the biggest babyface in the company now, right? Like he's got to be.
He's certainly the MVP of this match.
Right.
He blew me absolutely away by everything in this match. Like I everything he did was spot on. And yes, I think he's now the biggest babyface in the company.
Yeah. Heyman's just fantastic. Fantastic. Put a bow in this match, Primo. What'd you think, brother?
Oh, I absolutely, like I said, I loved it. It was my favorite match of the weekend. It really was a way to kick off night one. I went away happy. I actually was going nuts. I was going crazy right here in this very spot. I just, like I said, I left happy. They really, really capped off the night well for me.
Yep. So Smelly Mark night one, boys. I'm going with a solid 9 here.
Did averaging the main event with the opener and the filler in between.
Yeah, when there's that much in the main event and that much drama, like overall as the card, like
I go to 8.
I mean, there wasn't any shitty matches, I don't think, on the card. You know what I mean? Nothing that was like fucking
on paper.
Terrible. Which one? Well, tell me which one was then absolutely terrible. Jade Naomi, maybe.
No,
none of them just terrible.
Right. None of them were terrible, but
some of them were just But I give it an 8.5.
Okay, maybe I'm way off.
I can agree with an 8.5.
Okay.
When I think of night 8. One, I literally just think of the main event and Jay.
Same. Jay, I don't think about main event.
Yeah. The main event was like that freaking good though, to where I will give it an 8. To me, it was just like a good card. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania card.
Sure.
Except for Jay winning in the main event. And I mean, if you hit a home run to begin with and hit a home run to end it like that, you can't ask for a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But the middle of it, I was kind of just like nothing terrible, but nothing super great. Like night 2 a lot better. We'll get there. But I'll go 8 out of 10.
So not super great. Fatu winning the U.S. title. Tiffany retained. Okay, maybe Jay Naomi. I'll give you that.
8.5 is pretty high.
So, it's pretty high. Yeah,
I'd say plus.
But I was pretty entertained. I think that's why I was more on the 9. So, and I always I watch the show and I write my score down that night. You know what I mean when I'm taking notes. So
dang, if I would have at that night, I might have gave it like a 20.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean,
just because of the recency bias involved.
Yeah, true.
Well,
night 2 now. Let's get to that, boys.
That's
attendance 63,226. So they got a couple more thousand in on Saturday night versus Sunday night versus Saturday. But best match on the card I thought was the opener, man. Io versus Bianca versus Rhea. Io retained the title here, but man, did they let it all go?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the most I have liked Bianca Belair ever. She was great. This match was great.
Yeah, good stuff here. Go ahead.
Loved the finish. Like her Io hitting that moonsault while Bianca's in the pin, like sitting up in the pin. Coming out of nowhere with that. I thought that was just incredible. Absolutely loved that. Like you said, the whole match was just incredible. Great way to open, especially coming after the triple threat to close the first night, starting it like that. Just absolutely incredible.
I think it was the right result too.
Yeah,
I agree. That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I agree. I like that too. I liked it too because it elevated Io as kind of the top dogs, and she was like the third wheel of the match going into it. You know what I mean? So this was awesome.
Which I hate that by the way, I meant to bring this up during the Charlotte match too. And this is also like Pat McAfee sucked on commentary, but anyways, I hate it when they put the champion over as the underdog. It's like, what do you do? That's your champion. don't
Right.
make it seem like, oh, she's fighting an uphill battle. And it's like, no, she has the fucking belt. Don't do that. I hate that booking. It just makes the actual champ look like a fucking geek, and that bothers me, especially when it's Io Sky. She's so good.
Second match of night 2 was the only gimmick match of the weekend, I believe, was Drew versus Damien in a Sin City Street fight. Drew coming out with the win here. I like both entrances. I thought it was both pretty cool. I think Damien had like guitar player from Slayer playing his entrance. That was pretty cool. So I like Drew going over here. I like this. I did. I think Drew's going to have a big 6 months coming up.
And they had a heck of a match, so it was cool too.
It was sick, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. Didn't go too long either. You know, it was
Yeah, Drew did the selfie spot again.
Yeah, that was funny.
Phone.
Yeah,
that thing had like millions of views in like seconds. Like by the time I had it pulled up on my phone, just that quick, right after it happened, it already had millions of views.
He won the social media Slammy again this year.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green twice in a row.
Yeah,
he's so funny.
I loved it. Yeah, great stuff.
All right, match number 3, boys. I think we all enjoyed this one for the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Dominic versus Penta. To me, this is WWE's version of the alternative scramble match, if you ask me. You know, it's kind of close to what they have, but Finn and Dom kind of turned on each other, as expected, but Dom pins Finn to win after a frog splash. Crowd loves it. Crowd loved it so much. They cued the cameraman to tell Dom to go after he was coming down the ramp to go get back in the ring and soak it in because it was such a babyface pop. We all picked this one and loved this one. That smug motherfucker is the IC champ, man. It's crazy,
yes.
Right?
So happy for him. We watched this kid grow up right before our eyes.
Yeah.
So
hated it when he was brought in.
Yeah.
He was so green and so awkward.
He has, over the past few years, grown and developed so much. He's a natural. And he's eating shit from the fans with those boos. And I mean, dude, I don't know when the turn happened where we all suddenly started loving Dom. Well, I mean, I've been a fan of Dom, but because I like heels anyway. But I'm saying like everybody went nuts for this,
right?
So that's pretty cool.
I loved it. I loved this match. I even love that my boy Finn took the pin here. Awesome. Because now Finn's gonna put Dom over Hugh. Like I think that initially they were gonna try and turn Finn babyface again to feud with Dom that way. But now I think they're gonna keep Finn heel, and I think Finn is gonna put Dom over. And it's gonna be great. And I loved everything. I love that Braun lost without losing. I thought that was great because he's above the IC title at this point. So, bump him up. But this is just fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, that's a good point. Both Braun looked really good. Penta looked really good. And, his first Mania match. I mean, how could you not love Dom? He just wants to eat chicken tendies and play PlayStation. And,
he's so good.
That's all I want to do. What's not to love?
Match number 4 was Randy Orton coming out not knowing who his opponent was going to be. So he came out and kind of jumped into the ring and kind of stood there. And all of a sudden, say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Was that you, Primo?
So Joe comes out. Joe comes out. Randy wins, by RKO. Shakes his hand after the match. RKO's him again. He's the current TNA heavyweight champion right now. I was kind of meh about this just because I've kind of already seen him. I know there's a lot of people that liked it, but I don't know. I would have liked to see the legend spot here, but just me personally. But it was okay for what it was. What do you guys think?
I liked it.
I really liked it.
Yeah,
I believe Primo said on the preview pod Joe Hendry would be a good person for it. Maybe I'm misremembering that.
Yeah,
I think you did.
Also, after the fact, I was pretty surprised and just thought it was pretty cool because this is the first ever TNA World Champion wrestling on WrestleMania.
Yeah,
right.
That's
he got
pretty
squashed,
sick.
but it's still fine.
But
I mean, he
yeah,
got-
I mean
he
that's
got
a big
something
that's a
in.
big deal
Yeah.
for WWE.
Yeah.
Plus, he got squashed by Randy Orton, so it's not like
Yeah.
a squash.
You
And
were in
it
there.
wasn't
You're in
like-
there with like one of the greatest, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was the bell ring and he got an RKO and got pinned, in 3 seconds. He got a couple moves in.
He did.
And the finish of him doing his little turn and then hitting or catching the RKO, that was everywhere. That was great.
Yeah.
That was camera work of the weekend, by the way.
Yeah, it
that was
was.
a great
Yeah.
camera shot.
And then Randy hits the Joe Hendry pose.
Yeah, I cracked up when I saw that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Randy's having a good time.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Match number 5, boys, was Logan Paul versus AJ. Karrion Kross got involved in this one with some brass knuckles. Paul ends up winning. Thought this was a pretty good match. Every time I watch a Logan Paul match, I'm like, damn, that dude's athletic as hell. That dude can springboard his ass off.
When that guy did, when he did the lion saw across.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I hate how good he is because he is such a shit human.
Right.
That I want him to go away, but I also want to watch him do cool moves. So it's so annoying, and then that makes me get mad at myself because I'm like, no, he's a terrible human.
Yeah.
And then
stop liking
the
what he's doing.
pulverizer is pretty cool move.
It's so cool. He does
Yeah.
like just cool moves, and he
What
does
did he
them
do?
well.
Didn't he catch like a drone or something in his hand?
Yeah.
During the entrance.
He had a
that's
drone
cool.
and he put it right in his hand.
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
some original shit, man. You know what I mean? So we're coming out some cool stuff for him.
I like the finish too, because like Cross is almost representing all of us in a way. Where he's like,
Yeah.
AJ, you got to beat this guy for wrestling. Like, you can't
come
let
on.
this guy come in.
Yeah.
And that's what all of us are like. Yeah, AJ, you got to
Come
beat
on,
this guy
AJ.
for the wrestling business.
I
And
want
AJ
to say,
like
I am
refusing
sorry.
the use of knuckles. Like, I loved that. Loved it.
Yeah.
so you guys may or may not know or be privy to this, but outside of wrestling, AJ had always been known as being like not much of a cursor. Like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's cussing a lot on TV now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe he learned the Earth is round.
what
finally.
happened?
Got his mind blown a little bit.
He went from not cussing at all to because
Right.
everybody used to make fun of him for being like, like frick,
Gosh darn!
yeah,
Right.
that kind of stuff. And now he's
Dadgummit.
like, you bitch.
That's how they talk in Gainesville, Georgia.
All right, match number 4 of the night was Raquel and Liv versus Card Subject to Change. Bailey is scratched from it. She's been lately, kind of complaining about her creative or something. So I don't think there's something going on there. But anyway, so Lyra Valkyria needs a tag team partner. Enter Becky Lynch, and they win the titles. It's kind of like a cool down match with a pop right before the main event. I mean, Stone Cold comes after this, but the pop, Becky comes out, they win the belts. And so Becky's back, and we'll talk about Monday after it, but a little jolt to the women's division now. So good for her. She told everybody she wasn't coming back forever for a long
She
time.
lied.
Yeah, she might be done.
Lies.
And then boom, shakalaka. You think she'll be a Paul Heyman
Yep.
lady person?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hope
thought
so.
it was kind of a waste.
Yeah. I thought it was too, especially on, they dropped the belts on Monday, so they just did it for the pop.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they
didn't.
Yeah, they had the belts for one night, but
Right.
just so Becky could turn on her. She could have turned on her without ever
Without the
winning the
belts.
belts. She could have just turned on her at WrestleMania. That might have been a bigger moment right there because it would.
Been right in front of everybody all at one time.
What the fuck was that? Don't do that again.
All right, then next out was Stone Cold on the 4-wheeler. Now, Stone Cold should have practiced riding this 4-wheeler because he missed the ramp and then couldn't get in reverse. And then when he finally got up on the ramp, he turns around, he goes around the ring, and then hits the wall. I don't
He
know.
smacked the shit out of that wall.
Yeah, and hits a wall, and then it looks like he didn't know how to get it in reverse, or maybe messed it up or something like that. Hit the wall, possibly knocking a fan down. But
That was a flop.
It kind of
That was a flop.
It kind of took some steam out of Stone Cold's interest, right? It was so like, oh my god, this is a mess. You know what I mean? So
I also got annoyed, and with Shawn Michaels too. It's like you can't remember one number. Like you can't remember 63,867. Like Like, try to remember, and if you
You had
don't,
to remember,
write
too.
it down, put it in your pocket, and then if you don't, then take it out. But don't carry around a big stupid cue card. You look like a fucking carny.
He
And
had two numbers.
Oh yeah, Stone Cold had two. Shawn Michaels only had one.
Oh, Shawn Michaels.
What are you doing? I hated that for some reason. I don't know why.
Good stuff. But yeah, I guess we got to have a little Stone Cold in our WrestleManias now. So however we get him, we'll take him. So
hey, but what do you
don't kill
do if
nobody.
you're that fan? Because Nick Khan's out there, and so clearly it got a little serious.
Oh no! If you're the fan, you flop. If you're the fan, you definitely flop. You try to get free WrestleMania tickets for life.
If I'm the fan, I'm like,
you sell
I
it,
just got
man.
smacked
I
by
don't know, it looks
Stone
like he
Cold
hit the
Steve
wall
Austin.
hard.
My life is made.
I mean, it looks like he hit the wall hard, but it didn't look like there was a lot of people in that area that still
Yeah, I saw
stood
I
there.
actually saw the fans POV of that today.
I think,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't drop the camera and shit.
All right, main event, boys. Let's get to it. Let's talk about it. First of all, shout out Champagne Zone, Chad Patton, main event referee for John Cena versus Cody. Shout out to you, dog. You're fucking doing it, man. Love it for you. All right, so main event, boys. The big one, the one we've been waiting on to see how it was going to all unfold. Cena's a heel. So we start the match, right? So late in the match, first of all, did you guys like Cody's little flip mask he had on this time too? It was kind of cool.
The Iron Man mask?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, it would have been cool like 6 years ago when like Endgame came out, but
yeah, he's wore one similar, but I don't think one that like
it was the white one. It was just a regular mask.
So the match starts, right, and late in the match we get a ref bump. Refs get caught the match, and then we get about four or five AAs later from Cena. Travis Scott's music hits, and he's got beef with Cody. So I knew Cody owed him a crossroads here, so he gets that. Cena ends up getting the win, obviously, with this little bit of distraction here. Basically, he wins it like on a belt shot. So I thought throughout this match, you could see Cena talking just as usual, like calling the match. You could even, hear him sometimes. So, okay. So the match was what it was, right? But let me ask the question. Okay. And I know a lot of people's asked this question, why was The Rock involved? Right. Because he's kind of involved in this. Okay. All right. I'm not even going to answer that question. I'm not even going to get into that dispute. What I want to say is, why are we going to involve someone like Travis Scott, nothing against him personally, just like General, but somebody with a legacy of the WWE like John Cena? Some say he's the GOAT of all time, right? And then, you're coming to break the record and you're having like a hip hop artist, have a part of the match and kind of be screwy with it. And, to kind of help him win, maybe they got plans for something on down the road, but I don't know. To me personally, I just kind of thought it was a disservice to Cena. Like, I'd rather just seen him just, win on his own and win clean. If we're going to have shenanigans, why not have The Rock in there too? You know what I mean? If we're going to do Travis Scott, you know what I mean? But either like have them all in or none in, you know what I mean? Like, cool, cool that Cena won, broke the record, all that kind of stuff. And, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was what it was, but I don't know. It just seemed like a little bit of disservice to Cena that, he had to go that route. And I know he's a heel now, but most of us ain't buying that shit anyway. He's not that good of a heel. Let's be honest. Like, some of his promos are good, and he kind of deep seating as to why he's a heel, but I just didn't understand like that finish, and like I don't know, it just ended like on a sour way for me, like I don't know, I just thought it'd be a lot more than what it was. But what are you guys' opinions?
So I have a little bit of opinion on this. I mean, I might have had a rant recently, but specifically, I would like to say that I agree about Travis Scott. I as far as the match goes, I took it for what it was, and I was just appreciative that I got to see John Cena's final WrestleMania match and, be present for that,
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he broke Ric Flair's old ass record, so that's good too.
It's way more than 17, by the way. That's just what WWE acknowledges.
Yep.
Well,
just
John
wanna
Cena
say
won
that.
all of his titles within WWE.
Sure.
But anyway, that's not this debate. The Travis Scott thing, I don't understand. The thing is, I don't want to remember these gigantic moments like Cena turning heel or Cena winning number 17 or his last WrestleMania with Travis Scott in it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with all the heel shit that he did.
Yeah.
That Cena did to win the match, but there really was absolutely no reason for Travis Scott to be out there.
Yeah.
He
It's
didn't
nothing against
add
Travis
anything.
Scott. You could insert anybody into this
Well, that's what
role.
I'm saying. It's
That has nothing to do with
unnecessary.
wrestling. Yeah,
It's unnecessary.
I agree.
It's for me. It's a huge moment that shouldn't be, tampered with putting other people in there.
Yeah, I agree. To kind of sort of play devil's advocate, but it's more of a conspiracy theory grabbing at straws here. Like Cena turned heel. It's 2025. When he turned heel, that was the biggest babyface reaction he's ever got. Like, is this their way of just being like, this is how we get heat with all of the fans that are way too smart for their own good? We bring in this person they hate to try getting Cena booed. Like, do they think they're just getting heat with it because everybody hates it?
Yeah.
Like, is that even is it even good heat, quote unquote, or is it just a turnoff? Or like, I agree with y'all. I'd rather it just him not be in there. And he came down when Cena was in control. It wasn't like Cody had him beat, and then all of a sudden the stupid theme song starts playing, and here comes Travis Scott. No, Cena was in control, and it's just an awkward pause because now here comes Travis Scott, and Cody didn't even get a good punch in. He had to hit him with the crossroads. Like he should have just decked the dude. And Cody looked bad holding the title up and giving Cena every chance in the world, and then taking another dick kick and getting beat with the belt. Like, I don't know. I love the whole show up to this, but the main event didn't do much.
That you actually said something that reminded me on something I hadn't brought up yet. Was the fans during the match and after the match were cheering for Cena.
Yeah,
they were pro
100%.
Cena, but the WWE was trying to push the narrative that they were not. The commentators were literally saying that they were booing Cena as they were cheering Cena.
Right.
I'm like, I think they don't. I don't know. To me, the days of WWE dictating who we cheer and boo are pretty much not existent anymore. Like, we're gonna like who we like, and we're gonna boo who we boo. I mean, that's pretty evident with all of us cheering for Dom, even though he's supposed to be a scummy heel. And we're gonna cheer for Cena. We all know it's his last WrestleMania. I don't know. They were just it was just weird to me. They were pretending that nobody was cheering for him. So anyway,
AJ, what's your thoughts when we get out of here on that?
This was stupid. I did not like it. As good as the first night's main event was, that's how much I didn't like this one.
I think I let this one off the hook because Saturday nights was so good.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
This match is why I don't rate things right after I watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that was the case, this night would have gotten a 2. So I'm glad I waited a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start right there. You're at a 2 on the Smelly Mark scale. Dylan, where you at?
Oh no, I'm not at a 2, but that's what it would have been.
That's what it would have been. Okay, gotcha. So Smelly Mark night 2, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8. I didn't like the main event, but like the rest of the card up to the main event, I thought it was just incredible. Like, as much as I didn't love the in between stuff on night 1, I loved it on night 2. So yeah, the main event drops it a couple notches, but I can't just bury it just because of that one match. So I'm gonna stick with an 8.
Okay. I agree with that exact sentiment. The rest of the card, it was the opposite of night 1. The rest of the card was great. The main event sucked. So overall, another 8.5 actually.
Yeah.
Primo?
So the opener was a banger.
Yep.
Damian versus Drew is a banger. Hendry showing up for Randy Orton was awesome. the main event was a spectacle. You have to think of it that way. You have to, just appreciate it for what it is. Appreciate the fact that we'll never see John Cena wrestle at WrestleMania again. So, because of that, I want to rate it a 9, but I don't want to rate it above the other night because it's not better than my night 1, but 8.5.
Yeah, I'm sticking with 8 on here. I like the opener, and and I liked everything leading up to the main event. I was just disappointed at the way it went down. Like I'm not disappointed that like Cena won or anything. I just I would just kind of like to see him just win. If he's gonna break a record, let's let him win clean. But if he's a heel, whatever, the way it is. So. All right. Obviously, we were all on Saturday night as the better night. What do you think was the surprise of the weekend? Joe Hendry, Becky, or Stone Cold?
Joe.
Becky.
No,
I gotta go Joe because after they took out Bailey, like everybody was saying Becky.
They literally were hinting at it in the pre-show.
Yeah. I'll go Joe.
Best match of the weekend, triple threat Saturday night, right?
Oh yeah. With that women's triple threat, a close second.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the best moment of the weekend?
Best moment, the Paul Heyman turn.
I agree.
And you got to give Paul Heyman his props, man. Within 5 minutes, he's playing 3 different emotions.
Yeah.
He went from being distraught best friend,
right.
Like how could you make me do this, to back to repledging his allegiance.
Right.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, my tribal chief. Here is your steel chair on a silver platter.
Right. Yeah, so let's stay there. We'll stay there with him because Monday night, obviously he's putting together a faction now. He's got Braun Breaker and Seth. Becky turned heel. We got Rusev on Monday after Raw. Yeah, it was a solid Monday after Raw.
It was actually really one of the best Monday night after Raws in a long time.
Yeah, you got Orton taking out Cena. Setting that match up.
Yes, the RKO. Yeah, that was beautiful. Heading into St. Louis for Backlash. It's gonna be an awesome match. And then Sammy came out and congratulations to Jay, and he teased a little bit. They did some camera.
We saw that, Sammy.
Yeah, worked out his bastards. So, all right, boys. Well, that's gonna do it for the Dropkick discussion of the week. WrestleMania 41 is in the books. It's time to go home, Primo. But first, how about a word from my friend Nico Klein?
Yo, what it do? It's Nico Klein on the Sit Down with Mark's podcast. You're listening to AJ, DB, and Primo.
Right, here's the time, guys, where I would usually go ahead and finish up the podcast, man. But I wanted to talk about a few serious things first. First things first, a little melancholy here on the podcast. We lost Mongo Steve McMichael. Yeah, he'd been battling the ALS for so many years. He was a member of the 1985 Chicago Bears. To us, he'll always be Mongo, member of the Four Horsemen in WCW. A big part of Chicago lore. He is absolutely loved here in the state of Illinois. He is absolutely loved by every Chicago Bears fan, and just about every WCW fan. He was at Dreamwave once years ago, and I've heard so many legendary stories of that night of him being there. Just a great guy, and just very sad to see Mongo McMichael. You guys got any memories of Mongo in WCW? Obviously, he got shitted on sometimes for having some stinker matches, but once he really figured it out and owned his craft, he won a lot of people over, and being a horseman is legendary, right?
Yeah, that's mostly what I remember is WCW. Goldberg stealing his ring, the Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
In the Horseman stuff. That's pretty much because I was younger, but that was pretty much what I remember.
Sure.
Yeah. That like 90, really 96, but 95 to like 98 WCW is like my go-to, my favorite time. What I turn on all the time to fall asleep to. The Great American Bash 96 is when he joins the Horsemen. Turns on Kevin Green, sides with Rick and Arn. That was one of the first VHS tapes. That dates myself there, don't it? One of the first VHS tapes I had. So I watched that so many times. That Horseman is the first Horseman I was introduced to. Obviously I've went back and watched the 80s stuff since and love it, but that mid 90s was the first Horseman I knew, so it hits that nostalgia chord just right. Yeah, sad to see him go. Just an absolute legend.
Yeah. I mean, he was on arguably the best team ever, in football. You
Oh,
know what
absolutely.
I mean? And
Yeah.
I mean, that team was stacked at every position. He was a monster. So hate to see him go,
a big
man.
part of it.
Yeah. What a legend, man. What a legend. Personally, I want to take a second to talk about it now. If you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, or listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, thank you all those platforms out there. So AJ and I, we lost a friend in the independent wrestling community last week, and a very tragic event. Ref Dev Anderson, his name's Devin Anderson. He was mainstay at Iron Spirit Pro, Dreamwave, all Zawa, all over the Chicago area. I got to know him like really, really well. He helped me out in the beginning, when I was, ring announcing, giving me some pointers. He was the absolute most professional referee. He was just a very respected individual, man. If I was starting a wrestling company, Ref Dev would be the first referee I would call, hands down. He was there the night that Sean Galway broke his leg, and he was the referee on there, and he was an instrumental part of getting Sean, out of the ring safely. He knew exactly what to do. He did his job, and he was just a super professional and just a great referee, man. A nice person. I'm going to miss him. Not many people knew this, but at Dreamwave, I share the locker room I'm not going to say the people, but with a few other wrestlers every time we have a show. And every time Ref Dev was on the show, we always shared. He was always come in my locker room, and we'd share a locker room together, talk about the night, talk about what we've been doing. He was a delivery driver, like for DoorDash or what's Instacart, I think, and he always had some crazy stories to tell about deliveries, and that kind of stuff. And, and he had a YouTube channel, and, every match that he was at, he always had somebody record it because he wanted to upload this YouTube channel, and he wanted to watch all these matches of his long after he was retired and think about him and talk about him. And just one of the absolute best referees I've ever been around. One of the best dudes. He always encouraged me. He was such a big fan of mine, and it's going to be weird going to the next show, and he's not going to be there. And a lot of people, Zawa, a lot of people listening to this podcast knows Ref Dev, and we've lost him. And Bayou, he was Bayou Bill's best man at his wedding. Robert, that we always see at the shows, is always working hard. Devin was a hard worker, man. Just personified what it meant to be a true professional in the wrestling world. So I'm definitely going to miss him. AJ, you got any stories about Ref Dev, man? I know you kind of worked with him a little bit, some too, and so
Dev made me laugh so quietly all the time. I don't know how he did it, but he was a very soft spoken person. So to hear him say some of the shit that he said, it always just made me laugh. And like you said, he was there when we kind of got into it a little bit, and he always kind of when we first started going to like shows and sponsoring and stuff like that. He always had a helpful word, and he was always very kind to us. He made me feel very welcome all the time. And I'm really gonna miss him. I was very, very sad and very shocked to hear when you told me. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be sad.
I want to tell a quick story too. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, the picture you're looking at. So we're about to do a Friday night Uprising Women's show. I got my phone in my pocket. We got our suits on, and I'm starting looking at this banner, and me and Devin standing there talking. I was like, you know what, man? I was like, we never take pictures. You know what I mean? We never take pictures, of each other or like I was like, go over and stand like in front of that, uprising. I'll take some manners, pictures of you, and I'll send them to you. And he took all of them with his hands in the front like that, right? And I go, put one with your hands in the back. He goes, no. He goes, I like it when I'm in the front. Looks more professional that way. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. So handing him the phone over, and I still have the text where I sent him the pictures, and then we shared them with each other, that kind of stuff. So let me tell you, man, like right now, I'm so glad I took the pictures. You know what I mean? And so take the pictures, everybody. Take the pictures, call them, text them, whoever, all that stuff. Like, yeah. That's the best thing I can say is take the pictures. You wish you had. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today and listening. Go follow at Sit Down Marks on all social media. And if you got a product or service you want to get over to the Marks Mafia, give us a shout on one of our social medias. We'll be glad to talk to you, or email DB on the mic at yahoo.com. Primo, we got a brand new Sit Down Marks podcast Discord for all the Marks Mafia fans out there to join, right?
Yes, sir. In fact, if you want to click the link in the comments, I just dropped it. But if you aren't watching live and you're listening to this audio, the link is going to be down in the description. So go down there, click the Discord link, join us. It's all of us are in there. We'll talk to you. We'll interact with you. We're trying to build a wrestling community, not just for our podcast, but just to have, like, who doesn't like to chop it up and talk shop about wrestling? We love it. So it'd be a good place to grow and talk about wrestling, and most importantly, you get to know the Sit Down Marks, and you can interact with us. You might even have some feedback for us here on the pod that we can implement at a future date. So it's a good starting point to get to know us better. So go ahead and join the Discord with the description down in the bottom.
We'll remind you to go check out and buy a t-shirt from Sit Down Marks. Go to sitdownmarks.dashery.com. That is sitdownmarks.dashery. That's DASHERY.com, formerly known as T Public, still the same company. AJ's wearing a beautiful t-shirt right now. Let's go check those out, and all of Primo's awesome designs on there. All right, so what's coming up next? Next week, Primo returns with another edition of Cheap Pop. So make sure you tune in, download that next week, and that's going to close out the month of April.
Yes, sir. I already got the topic, too. In
the month of May, we're going to be talking about a few different topics, including genetics in wrestling. Scott Steiner's son, Braun Breaker's out there. We're going to be talking about who are the sons and the daughters and the aunts, uncles, and nieces. Who's related to who? Who's out there right now in the relatives world of wrestling. We're going to be talking about that. And then Dylan's going to be hopping in, taking over on. He don't know it yet, but I'm telling him right now. He's going to be hopping in, taking over a big subject in the month of May. It's who's up next on the indies. Who are the top wrestlers that are getting ready to get who we think are going to be signed here in the next year or so? Who are the top independent wrestlers? So we're going to be talking about that in the month of May. Primo's going to have another Cheap Pop, and the guest of the month for May is one of my good friends. I've really got to work with him a lot, texting with him a lot. He's fresh off a tour of Mexico, coming on the pod in May. Good friend of ours and AJ's, Zach Abstract, is coming on the pod.
I love Zach.
Yes, we'll be talking about him, man. He's going to be talking about Mexico, his fight to win, heavyweight titles as much as he can, and we talk about his weekend in Las Vegas too. All right, so before we go home, Dylan, let's talk about what's going on this weekend, man. What shows you going to, and what are the big shows this weekend?
Yes, sir.
In the independent world, that is.
I'm fired up now about that Who's Next Up podcast.
Yes, sir.
Got me fired up.
Glad you're surprised.
Yeah, shocker, right? Preview this week. Go to my Twitter. Easiest way to find it, at DHagerJ15. That's DHAGERJ15. Breaking down 5 different shows this week, starting with St. Louis Anarchy tomorrow, Friday night. I will be there. If you see me, come say hi. Let's take a picture. 2 big title matches. Thomas Shire defending against Kenny Alfonso. That's the main title, the Gateway Heritage title. Destination title, Aaron Williams versus Luke Langley.
Nice.
And then also on the card, we got Laney Luck versus Mike Outlaw. That's going to be insane. Gary J versus Neil Diamond Cutter. Still my favorite name in wrestling.
I know,
Neil
right?
Diamond
Neil
Cutter.
Diamond Cutter.
That's
Um,
cute.
And DC.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's gonna be a good show there in Alton tomorrow night. Also this weekend, Black
Yeah.
Label's back. They've been off for I don't know several months now.
Yeah.
6-8 months, something like that. Seems like they're
Let's
back
go.
as part of the Square Circle Expo. You know, in typical Black Label fashion, you got to go all out. They got Danhausen and Maki Ito teaming
Right.
up against Bang and Matthews. They got WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas taking on Shaza McKenzie. Why
in the,
not?
In the matchup you didn't think you would see
Yeah,
ever?
yeah. Raj Desi, the former Jinder Mahal, he's still their world champ. He'll be defending. They got Super Crazy versus Myron Reed. Got a real good show up there. And then Action Wrestling down in Georgia. Shout out Matt Griffin and his crew. They're
Mhm.
celebrating their
Act
7th
accordingly.
year. Act accordingly, always. Big match I'm excited for. The one called Manders, fresh off his tour of the UK. He's defending the WXW Unified World title, I believe it is, against Darian Bankston. That's going to be insane. Then closing out the weekend up in Yarmouth, we got Limitless.
Yarmouth,
my favorite.
Big show up there. Limitless is killing it. Maggie Lee versus Brooke Havoc on the card. Shannon Thomas versus Aaron Rorick. Alec Price versus Conan Lycan. Just a real nice looking card up there. That'll be live on IWTV Saturday. Excited to check that out. And that's all I got this week.
Nice. All right. I want to thank Sportswire Radio for having me on. They had me on their pre-WrestleMania podcast. I want to thank them for having me on. It was a good time there. It was Randy, Chris Belcher, Thomas Bryce. And so I want to thank those guys for having me on. I want to remind you to go check out episode number 156 of the Sit Down Mars podcast. We were talking to Stumpy from Homegrown Wrestling about his card coming up May the 3rd. So go listen to that, and also get your tickets for May the 3rd, man. I'm going to be ring announcing at Homegrown Wrestling, so go come in and check that out. So, all right, boys, a big sigh of WrestleMania Christmas is over for us until next year again. Overall thoughts, man, I'm interested to see where they go with this, Cena run, throughout the rest of the year. If he sticks to the year, we know he's got to lose the title within a year. So I'm excited to see where they go, with creative on that. But I think SummerSlam is going to be really good this year with the storylines that are already kind of bubbling off, and Heyman putting his faction together. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big summer. All right, boys. Well, that's going to do it for WrestleMania Pod. Thank you guys for joining me today. Primo, appreciate it, brother. Dylan, thank you, sir. AJ,
Yes, sir.
good to see you, brother.
Welcome back, AJ.
Real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
If Seth Rollins is Triple H and Braun Breaker is Batista, who is going to be the Randy Orton of the group? What do we have?
What are we talking?
Ethan Page,
Yeah.
Austin Theory, Ricky
Ethan Page.
Saints.
Ethan Page.
I like either of the two, but Ricky.
Yeah,
Either
I
two
think
but Ricky.
Ethan Page would be great. I think Austin Theory desperately needs something. A repackage would be great for him.
Needs something to do.
Yeah, he just needs to. I mean, the A-Town Down Under is run its
Stupid.
course. So.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah,
It's stupid.
Yeah. Can we just agree, though, this is not a new evolution? This is a new dangerous alliance. Like, it's Paul Heyman. Like,
Yeah, it is. I
let's just go
agree.
back.
Sure.
But like,
Yeah.
that we're
Like,
just like in comparison. Yeah, they're comparing. Like that's what.
yeah, I've seen that a
seems
lot
to-
online. That wasn't coming
seems
at
to
you
be the
directly,
most-
Primo, but
It seems to
seen
be the
that a
most
lot online.
comparison. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Study some history. Dangerous
Yeah.
alliance.
If there is if there even is another member, or they can
Yeah,
add a
you're right.
female.
You're
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening on all those podcast platforms out there. We'll see you guys next week. Primo will be back with the cheap pop. For
Cheap
Primo, Dylan, AJ, and myself, we are Top Guys, and we're out. don't know if you guys watched Dynamite last night, but FTR gave Ricky Morton a pile driver. How about shit my pants, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
For a second, I thought you said Ricky Martin.
Ricky Morton. Yeah, I was so scared. I was like, no.
He's a singer.
My mom's texting me. She goes, they just pile drived Ricky. she's old school, like real
I
rock
love
roll.
that.
That's the oh yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
she
that.
loves them. Yep. All right, we out.